For years, stories have circulated about strange lights seen flickering among the trees. They start as small, soft orbs of light, floating just above the ground, like will-o'-the-wisps drifting through the forest. They move as if beckoning someone to follow, to get closer. One winter night, a group of 5 friends, tired of hearing the rumors, too curious for their own good, decided to enter Larkwood and see for themselves. Armed with flashlights and nothing but nervous bravado, they trekked through the thick snow and into the dense thicket. The trees were skeletal in the cold moonlight, their twisted branches stretching toward them like claws. The silence was thick, oppressive, as though even the wind dared not enter this cursed place. They didn't have to wait long. The first orb appeared, glowing faintly blue, hovering just above the ground by the edge of a clearing. It pulsed in and out, like it was breathing, beckoning them closer. As they watched, another orb appeared, and then another, forming a trail into the heart of the forest. One by one, the friends followed. The farther they went, the colder it became, and the darker the forest seemed. Then, the orbs began to change. They grew brighter, flashing in rapid succession, almost hypnotic. They spun in place like miniature stars, their light growing more erratic, more unpredictable. "Do you think we should turn back?" whispered Clara, her voice shaky. "Just a little farther," said Tom, trying to sound confident, though his own hands trembled. "We're almost there." Suddenly, the lights all blinked out, plunging them into total darkness. An eerie silence settled around them, broken only by the soft crunch of snow beneath their feet. Then, a blinding flash of light erupted from the center of the clearing, so bright it made their eyes burn. In the afterimage, something moved. A figure appeared, floating above the ground in the very center of the clearing, its form rippling with electrical energy. At first, it looked like a blur, like a human figure made of static. But as the figure solidified, they saw it more clearly. The ghost was no human they had ever seen. Its body was a network of veins and nerve fibers, crackling with electric blue and white energy. The central nervous system, exposed and electrified, pulsed as if alive, veins stretching and contracting, nerves sparking with bolts of raw energy. The figure's face was blank, expressionless, but its eyes, or what could only be described as glowing orbs of light, fixed on them with a cold, predatory intensity. The friends froze, unable to move, unable to breathe. A low, guttural hum emanated from the creature, the very air around them vibrating with the force of its presence. And then, the voice came, not from the Specter's mouth, but from everywhere, from the trees, from the ground, from their very bones.
"You shouldn't have seen me."
The words were like electricity coursing through their veins, and it wasn't just in their heads. The shock of it radiated through their bodies, as though the Specter had connected to their nervous systems, like a parasite burrowing deep within them. It stepped forward, and the ground beneath their feet trembled. With each step, the air grew heavier, filled with the stench of decay, the buzzing hum of unnatural power, the static charge of something ancient, something that had been waiting. The orbs of light began to swirl around the figure, and then, without warning, they flashed once more, releasing an ear-splitting crack of light. A horrible screech echoed through the trees, and the friends could feel their bodies convulsing, their hearts racing in terror. It wasn't just a ghost. It was something else entirely. The Specter of Larkwood was a being of pure electrical malice, its presence ripping through their senses, stealing away their will to resist. One by one, the orbs flickered again, and then they disappeared, leaving nothing but the cold, empty forest and a single final sound, a scream, distorted and trapped in the cracks of the trees. By the time anyone found the bodies, they were just husks, skin drawn tight over bones, faces frozen in terror. The group had disappeared into nothingness, their nervous systems fried, as though they had been severed from the world by an unseen, vengeful force. And the orbs, they were still there, silent, watching, waiting. The people of the nearby village would whisper about it in hushed tones. The legend of Larkwood was only growing. More people came, drawn by curiosity, by the same recklessness that had led the first group to their doom. And with each person, the lights would appear, the orb lights, leading them to the center of the forest, where the electrified ghost would rise again.